you know, how we can address it, we can take that conflict and really do change it to collaboration. And so we're going to be talking about that. So what we're going to do in this last 30 minutes or so, we're going to look at 3 types of conflict. We're going to look at some conflict behaviors and sort of when to apply them, when they're appropriate and not. And then if we have time, because I'm a chatty Cathy, we'll do 5 steps to address a common, I think, conflict in the workplace. And you'll notice as while I'm going through it, while this is in the context of change, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. The items that we're going to go through now could really be applied to the project planning that, you know, Mr. Matney was talking about, to the team aligning that Dr. Martinez was talking about, to some of the change management pieces that Jackie was talking about. So a little more general. So the first thing we're going to start with is 3 types of conflict. So think about this. I definitely like quotes and visuals, but or metaphors. So in healthcare, you all might be thinking about, okay, in order to do a treatment, I need to have a diagnosis. I need to understand what's going on before I go, you know, throwing something at the issue. And the same thing is true in our teams and in conflict. We have to know what is really the root. So there are 3 types of conflicts that are common, 3 categories that are common inside of our workplaces. And I think those can really help us get to those problem statements that you all practiced with Mr. Matney this morning. And if we have time, we'll do later this afternoon. So the first is task. This is the what's being done, what's happening. Process, how do we accomplish the task or the change or whatever it may be. And then relationship, who is involved and what are the people and what triggers are happening to cause some strong emotions. So these initial, this type of conflict might arise when people have different opinions, as they will, about the distribution of resources, about policies, about interpreting the facts, what really is the task. And so some of those people can rub, and we get a little friction there on how people are interpreting what they think they're supposed to be doing, what someone else is supposed to be doing, or even the priorities of what the team is doing. Then the how types of conflicts, the process conflicts, is when those opinions differ on the way we're going to get something accomplished, the way something is going to be delegated, the way something's going to be decided. And then finally, relationship, you know, and I've seen a lot in the chat today, about maybe difficult personalities, those types of things. And I think, Dr. Martinez, I know Yanez was addressing some of that, whether someone's difficult or not. We're not going to make that call, but we do know that 2 people within our teams can have different tastes, different work styles, different personalities, different political preferences, different values. So there's so many different things that are happening, and we can't be responsible for or on top of all of those things. But I think it's important to at least acknowledge people are human, and there are many things happening under the surface that contribute. And I will say, with task and process, those can easily become relationship conflicts, right? So if we're constantly butting heads about an unclear process, or we're constantly butting heads about a particular type of task, then now it may be seen as, I don't like working with you, you don't like working with me, because we haven't addressed the root of why we are kind of butting heads on those types of things. So let's do a quick knowledge check to see how we're doing. So a team member is not following the steps laid out in a project plan, and this causes a conflict. So in the chat, if you could just put, do you think it's task? Do you think it's process? Do you think it's relationship? What kind of conflict is not following the project plan? I'll pause for a moment. Yeah, looks like everybody's on the same page. Yeah, this is process, right? So in this instance, we have our plan. It's the how we're going to accomplish our plan. And if someone's not following it, then they are deviating from the process that, Either they were given by their leader or agreed on in collaboration. All right. A coworker style is taken as aggressive or argumentative, and the rest of the team is becoming silent, participating less in meetings, not sharing their thoughts, relationship, process, or task. Yeah, you got this one. You guys snagged this one quickly. And maybe the person isn't really aggressive and argumentative. It just, again, what is going on that's precipitating those conversations? And maybe they are, again, we won't make that judgment necessarily. And sometimes it's hard to. And then our final one, the team has identified 2 projects that need to be completed, but they disagree on which should take priority: process, task, or relationship. This one might be a little tricky. Or not. Yeah, this is a task, because if we define task as what, this is a what. We don't know what to do. But I will add, in this instance, you could also, and I think I saw someone else saying some of these could be multiple things, and I would agree. We're definitely oversimplifying, but this could be process if you don't have a way to prioritize, right? So if we, every time something comes in, we just decide willy-nilly, then, we need to talk about process as well. So great job. Yes, that's the last one left.